And remember, it's you, your significant other, and menopause that are all in the relationship together.
Yay!
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for tuning in again to Our Second Act with Paige and Silka.
For your second act of life. Hey, Silka.
Hi, Paige. Paige, today we return our focus to that wonderful word that, we embrace. And
the M word.
Men run from it. You're right, the M word, menopause. And especially of how it affects relationships. We've done so many videos now on finding love, dating after 50, starting over again, gray divorce, which, incidentally, 60% of women initiate divorce and relationship breakups after 50. So this is a very important topic that just both women and men don't really know what's going on. And lack of communication is often cited, but so many other things go on where communication is like the last thing the woman even wants to do. Paige, why is menopause, why is this time so critical to understand, our relationships?
Because when you think about being in a relationship, there's actually three entities that are in your relationship. It's like the three-legged chair. There's you and your significant other and menopause. You're all having a relationship together, whether you realize it or not, and there's so many different aspects of menopause, but today we were just wanted to highlight memory is an issue, sex is an issue, and depression and anxiety are an issue. All three things that can not only affect the woman who's going through menopause, but how that relates to their significant other in the relationship. So when you think about memory, come on. Short-term memory, can't grasp a word that's coming there, or if you've been having arguments with your significant other and you're not remembering certain things that you've said or done, your significant other sometimes can get really upset because we went through this already. I've talked to you about this before. Why aren't you remembering it? Well, I'm not remembering it because my hormones are all out of imbalance.
Well, this is a great point, and because the term menopausal dementia is a real thing. We've joked about it. And sometimes it is scary as you age and you start being forgetful and you worry about that.
Yes.
But so I guess we're here to say that don't automatically think that
Yes.
there's it's dementia or Alzheimer's or something, but it could be hormones, and just having the awareness of that can certainly help. So anyway.
Right, because when you have the awareness, then you can step forward and do some things about that as well. So the second area is sex. Sex, and shall I say lack of libido, because that's just what happens. And more women than not that have been my clients and patients will say to me, I don't care if I ever have sex again.
Right.
Which is really hard because you have a significant other that's going, what, we were having sex. What happened? And then that causes a lot of other issues because women are like, look, don't keep clawing on me for sex because it makes me more angry because I don't have it. Or women will fake it and they'll just do it. And that breeds resentment because they're doing something they don't want to do. And on the flip side, men are like, oh my God, is something wrong with me? What's happening? I don't understand what's going on. And that affects them, that there's something wrong with them as well. It's hormonal imbalance, and it's really hard to get that libido back on track. And that's why I tell couples a lot of time, you're going to have some areas that are difficult when someone has a lack of libido. And those are the times that you really connect with someone intimately, maybe on a soul level, maybe on a different level. And Silka, we'll get some feedback like, well, that's bullshit, Paige, because I need sex. I need this, I need that. Okay, yeah, we all know that sex is important in a relationship, but maybe this is an opportunity and a time to connect to your partner in a different way that's actually deeper than the act of sex.
Absolutely, but I also want to add to that because you just described my life. And my marriage did break up,
Right.
and I absolutely will. There was no communication. I didn't know what was going on with my body. No, sex is the last thing I wanted. I also know, I can tell you that just the physiological part of it, can be fixed, and sometimes more easily than you think if you have the right hormone replacement,
Yes.
the HRT. But we've done other videos on that. I'll link to that. But there is, I guess what I want to make sure that I say that even though I was a statistic of this, maybe I didn't need to be. And I can tell you that sex after 50 can be better than ever.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
So just know that we all go through ups and downs, that there are things that can help. And also remember, in a marriage, when you're midlife or in a relationship, there's a lot of baggage that comes with a relationship. And if you haven't dealt with some things, that's on top of the lack of libido. So there's always more underneath the surface than just the lack of libido.
Exactly.
So number 3, depression and anxiety. They can walk together so many times that when you have not enough, hormones, it is so easy to just be depressed. Food doesn't taste good. You don't have the same interest. You really don't want to communicate. Fun is just not something that's in your vocabulary right now. You don't know what's going on. Just life is just dull. Life is blah. And oh my God, it has to be because I'm 50 and older. What else could it be? It could be your hormonal imbalance. And once you get some things in you for the hormonal imbalance, it can make a huge, huge difference.
Right.
Huge. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be the hormones that you go after. There's different things that you can take. Like Silke, I talked to you about this. There's different kinds of homeopathic things that can really help
Absolutely.
bring up your mood as well. So think of your 3-legged chair: memory, sex, depression, and anxiety. And remember, it's you, your significant other, and menopause that are all in the relationship together.
Yay. No, and it, the thing is, we menopause, andropause, of course, is the male version of menopause. Men go through this as well, not as drastically as we do, but so we tend to weigh the burden of these hormonal changes at midlife. I feel like the women carry on their shoulder. But the hormonal changes affect both. So it's just really important to understand that. We've also done videos on that. But it's just, I feel, really important to, like we're doing today, to jump in and just remind everybody what you're going through. One, everybody's going through it. And it doesn't have to mean that your relationship will end or that you're going crazy, et cetera, et cetera. There is hope out there. Paige, was there anything else?
Yes.
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 I forgot another point.
One last thing about hope. What a lot don't understand, that you're given an opportunity when you go through menopause. The mask comes off to deal with the issues that you've never dealt with before. And that in turn gives you an opportunity to connect more with your significant other. If you both want to reach that point where you're working on yourselves individually and then together, your relationship can actually be deeper, more meaningful, and much more intimate than you can ever imagine. So just remember, yes, there's 3 of you in a relationship, you, your significant other, menopause, but it's also an opportunity to really get to a deeper place, both individually and together as a couple.
Yeah, perfect. Well, and we'll be doing a lot more on this. I'm looking forward to having Dr. Lori back on, who's of course our hormone specialist, as well as other experts in this area, because I know this is an important topic for both men and women. It does affect both sexes. So Paige, we are at the end of our segment. I think you did. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I'm good now. I think that's enough.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and Silke.
For your second act of life.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. For more information on living your life to the fullest after 50 and taking charge of your emotional health, please visit our website, secondact.tv. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Button's right over here. Thanks.